All right, welcome back, Rocketeers, for episode 15 of our UnKerbaled start in Kerbal Space Program modded.
Of course.
MGB, what's going on, man? MJ, dude, I gave up. I was messing with it, and I'm like, dude, this is... and that's why I did stock skill. I even went back and looked in the forums, because I'm like, man, somebody's had to have made one already, right? Right, what, you know, somebody's likely already done it. I couldn't find one. NG, not too bad. Not too bad. I am testing out a later start time. See how it works out. This is a little bit later than I was anticipating, but... And for anybody that is watching this later on YouTube, please do me a favor and like and subscribe, and do me a and leave a comment. That like and that comment, I cannot tell you how much that increases the video viewership. I mean, it's like in the hundreds of views different between somebody liking and commenting versus somebody that doesn't. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so MGB, how you doing today? Wolf, what's up, man? You got the worst migraine? Oh, dude. Man, why are you here, dude? Go lay down. Drink a big cup of water and go lay down. Lack of sleep caught up to you? Yeah, sometimes you need a vacation from the vacation. Right? I haven't got migraines in a long time, but I used to get them quite often. Alright, I need to come over here. Let's turn this down some. I can turn that back up. Alright, so by the way, how many of you guys have been following Space Engineers 2? So Space Engineers 2 just released its new sector system, whatever it is, right? And the first part of survival mode. And since it was on the Black Friday, quote unquote Black Friday sale, I grabbed it. So we might be adding some Space Engineers 2 to the repertoire at some point. Yeah, well, part of it is sometimes I realize what they were being from. I used to run a lot. Like when I was in the army, I used to, and even after I got out of the army, I used to run a lot. Right, and I realized I wasn't getting enough potassium. My body was burning it all off, and that was one of the causes. So, eat a banana and drink a big tall glass of water. NGB, I am running the KSC extended with Jada Mars Harbor added on, and then some of the other stuff is Kerbin side adds in a few other items. Okay, so last time we were making a new airplane. I haven't tried it. I know the first one was pretty popular. A lot of people wanted me to stream it, but it was in early access for like ever. I mean, like 14 years or something ridiculous. So I'm hoping the second one seems to be moving a little bit faster, and the second one has a better roadmap than the first one had. But it looks pretty decent. As I said, I also have Jade's JNSQ Harbor. He released the Harbor as a second for the KSC as a separate mod from JNSQ. But the same Harbor from JNSQ is also there. All right, so what plane was it? This one, the Falcon. I am not happy with this. I'm thinking about going an entirely different direction. Losing the jet engines completely and the T-tail. And going with props, which also means redoing the wings. So you're kind of limited with landing gear anyway. Let's see what that actually looks like. Ditch that. Ditch those. Move these. All right. Yeah, you're gonna end up overbuilding your rockets. That's what I end up doing. And you're really gonna be frustrated with your gravity turns because they're you really can't do them properly in stock scale. On the flip side, though, it's going to be really easy to make a reusable first stage because you're already overbuilding it. All right, so we need a decent, straighter wing. Do we have any pre-built? Maybe I just need to unlock. Nope, I'm thinking I might just have to make my own. Yep, all right, we can do that. And MGB, right after you left last night, dude, where we're Imp and I were running that mission in the Onyx facility, dude, we ended up just running into so many different things, and it just got funnier and funnier and funnier, right? And that room, man, with the reactor and everything in it is so awesome. The screenshot I put in just does not do it justice. Yeah, I was thinking we might try to get everybody caught up. It's basically 5 or 6 missions, and then it opens them all back up, and also opens up the higher paying ones. Right, so they become repeatable once you've gone through them once. But man, we end up going far longer than we anticipated because it was quite a bit more involved than we thought it was going to be. There's a lot of bad guys, but when we got in that room with the reactor, it's basically kind of just a big round room with that reactor that sends out a big radioactive burst every 30 seconds. So you have to kind of hide behind certain things since we didn't have radiation suits. But the other part is it's got broken catwalks around, right? And you have to kind of leap between them. But the room itself, because of the experiment that's going on with that reactor core, there's no gravity, right? It's 0 G if you're not on one of the walkways. But the other part is there's an upper walkway and it's inverted, so you're in an inverted firefight with the NPCs in 0G while jumping through. It got really crazy while trying to avoid the radiation, which I wasn't able to. I got nailed hard, so I ended up having to take a whole bunch of drugs. So I was like 80%, 90%, blood toxicity rate. So my guy was staggering around drunk. I couldn't run. I couldn't walk in a straight line. I could barely see because everything was all blurry. Imp was laughing like crazy because apparently the animation of your character is you're stumbling like all over, like all over the place, right? And you're like almost like falling down. Man. I got to see how cool it looked for years. Well,
never meet your heroes.
Yeah. And to me, I have a feeling because of the way that ship looks and its fit and finish compared to like even the Zeus, I have a feeling that ship was built and ready a long time ago. And they held it back. That would be my guess. Yeah, well, remember, it's also supposed to be a docking port, but they turned it off because docking ports are kind of janky right now. Not kind of, they are really janky. It's also a really tiny one. It's gonna be extremely overpowered this way. But that's alright. I'm gonna need these. That'll work. Alright, control services. And why is this still so far back? That can't be right. That is so weird. Pancake, what's up, buddy? And yeah, well, you have to remember they're artists and not engineers and seamen. Oh, there might be a couple of seamen in there, but of a different type. Those are really big. Yeah, I think these will work fine. And this will actually do nothing. Alright, can I get something to help clean up that wingtip? It doesn't look right. Oh, it doesn't look right either. Hey, Brandon, what's going on, man? Gonna lurk while you take care of some things around the house? All right, my friend, sounds good. Hey, real quick though, when are we gonna see you in the verse again? Are you waiting for engineering? What's the, what are you and Tree, thinking? What are your thoughts? Or knock out what you need to knock out and just let me know later. And Brendan, what time zone are you and Tree in again? I always forget. I think me and MGB are the only ones that are West Coast. Oh, you guys are? Am I? Okay. That's right. That's right, Reno. I may not actually use these, but they'll complete the look of the wing. Until I get to the end. Well, hunt to me. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? All right, so anybody that is just popping in, I've decided to forego the jet engines in lieu of props. I wasn't really digging the way it was coming out. All right, so different wing, different engine configuration. Now maybe this will look better. That'll work. It unlocked electrics. Did they put that in lights? Yep. Tricks, what's going on? Yeah, I went with this. I decided to forego the jets in lieu of propellers. I wasn't happy with the way it was coming out. And this just, I think, makes a little bit more sense. And I'm half tempted to add another fuselage. Problem is, our landing gear are kind of shitty. We don't have good landing gear yet. And I'm gonna change that. Alright, I gotta change something there. That piece is too long. Oh, that's definitely not it. It's all gonna be too long. I gotta figure out what to do with that, but in a moment. Yeah, the same thing though. You got to make a mask, and if you do it all with in 1/4 real scale, you have to move everything because all the coordinates are all wrong. Had something to do with the changes that Link's made to the parallax system, and no one stepped up to redo all their mods. Can you? Alright, I gotta figure out what to do with this. I could add a little mud flap. It just doesn't do anything. So Tricks and Bahunta, what are you guys up to this evening? By the way, I'm trying out a new later start time. Probably won't be this late. I'm a little bit later than I was thinking. I was thinking more like 3 p.m. my time start. Twitch says the best hours for me to stream is between 3 and 8. Right? Anytime I stream between those hours, that's when I have the most viewers. Maki! Yep. Rocketology's Plane Design Bureau. Yeah, as I said before, we were going... I decided to forego the jet engines and go with turboprops instead. Right, with a different wing. I think it looks better. Millennium Dawn... I am unfamiliar. Is that a mobile game? let me get these dialed in. A modern day mod for Hearts of Iron 4. Oh, okay. Maki, that's because I'm still building the wing. I like to build the wing before I start tweaking it. It's harder to build once you start tweaking it. But don't worry.
It's coming.
See, now it looks proper.
Now it looks proper.
I was doing any other lighting, I forgot. Lights, guides. All right, so if the ends of the wing are angled upwards, it's dihedral angle, right? And what it does a couple of things. One is that when you're rolling the aircraft, right? Let's say banking the airplane for a turn, right? Let's say we're turning to the right. If you notice, this wing now becomes level, and only this wing is actually losing a little bit of lift. All right, so as you continue banking the aircraft, you lose less lift in a bank turn, is one. Two is that because the center of lift is above the center of mass, the airplane will want to roll wings level. Right, it's like dropping a ball into a valley or a ball into a bowl. It's gonna go back and forth, but then it'll eventually settle in the middle. Right, same thing. Right, or dropping a ball on a string. Eventually, it's going to settle where it's just straight down. Jester, you're a Marine? My little brother was a Marine. I think there's usually one or two others out there in chat somewhere. No, military cargo planes, yes, but for different that's because if it's too high, they're too high mounted, right? And so if they're mounted, the center of lift is too high over the center of mass, the aircraft won't want to roll at all, right? So they do an anhedral angle, a slight anhedral angle, because they're a top mounted wing, so that the aircraft can still roll. Do I know what Army stands for specifically? Why, is there an Army acronym that I'm unaware of? Aren't really Marines yet. Ah, okay, I've heard that before. Yep. The old Army and jarhead jokes. You know, the old adage, like, if you want to see a Marine hit the beach, throw sand at a wall. But yes, I'm sure we can do this all day. Now There's an old retired Marine that goes to the park where I walk my dog all the time. And we joke back and forth because you can tell when somebody's prior military, like pretty easily. It stands out. You know, when you see just the way you walk, you know. Especially if they're career, yeah, they walk weird, and it's because their body is toast from carrying all the weight. Oh, I know, Jester. I know. I did a couple of training missions when I was in 3rd Ranger Battalion with Force Recon guys. In fact, I went through jump school. My whole stick going through jump school were Force Recon guys. Right, I was the only Army, just the way it added up, I was the only Army guy in my stick going through airborne school. And when we graduated airborne school, there's a Marine Corps 4-star general, I can't remember his name, short, really stocky guy, right? Came through to pin all their wings on and, you know, give them their blood wings, right? And I was like 3rd one in line out of like 10, I think. There's like 10 in a stick. I was the 3rd one. He looks at me and just grunted, and then moved on to the next guy, until he finished all the Marines. And then he came back to me, and he pinned my wings on as well, and punched me in the chest so damn hard I almost passed out. Like I had to take a knee. Canine handler, awesome. Yeah, Twitch Stewie, Uncle Sam's misguided children. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we worked with the, well, I mean, when I was at, we worked with a couple of the canine handlers. We didn't have any permanently attached to our unit, but the Malinois.
Woo, doggy. Literally.
But yeah, so that's my Marine Corps story. Is I got my jump wings, blood wing style, from Marine Corps 4-star general that nearly knocked me on my ass. All right, now landing gear, and then I think we're ready for a test flight. All right, we're not gonna have much of a choice on this. And I gotta fix this. Light gets toggled with the landing gear instead of the light group. Alright, I don't like doing this with landing gear because they get all weird, but... We don't have much of an option with these landing gear. And we don't want to be nose down on the runway. That would be bad news. Anybody know why you don't want to be nose down on a runway with an airplane? All right, let's save that. Starks, what's going on, man? A Kerbus turboprop? Sure. Yeah, I was going jet engines, and I decided I wasn't liking with the way the plane was going with that. We just need an early passenger plane for our gap contract of creating an airline. Imp, yes, very counterproductive. How's it going, Imp? How you doing? Dude, Imp, that was fun as shit last night, man. My favorite is, you know why Marines are known as jarheads? The Navy needed somewhere to store their seamen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude, the Navy Marine rivalry is real. Okay, so there's one other part in here that we need to add. Is it under science? Nope. Utility. There's a GPS tracker that we have to put in to make this an airliner. And I don't remember where it's at. There it is. United K Nations transponder. Oh wait, I don't need it for these. Only the K Nations ones I need that. Okay. All right, so let's give this the good old taxi and control service check. Pancake, dude, it was a lot of. We ended up going way longer than neither one of us intended. Yeah, the drunken low gravity inverted firefight. Yeah, Pancake, dude, when you see it, I don't even know if I want to tell you about it because that room is insane. I know I put in a screenshot, but it is not. The screenshot does not even remotely do it justice. Should just be on. All right, well, apparently that's the only options it has. All right, rudder check. Ailerons check. Elevators, check. Flaps, wrong direction. Alright, flaps, check. Holy crap, that's loud. It's still so loud. There we go, okay. That's still really loud, isn't it? I gotta fix that too. These deploy with the brakes. I don't like that. I don't want them to deploy at all, but... So we'll have to fix that in the action groups when we get back in. Alright, let's go for that taxi stability test after I get this set real quick. Man, this thing has a ton of fuel. Alright, I also gotta increase the brake strength. On that. Alright, let's take it back. And make those adjustments. Mock-it, yeah, I don't have a choice on the landing gear. Yet. So yeah, but yes, they do. Never go to 100%, it locks the wheel. If I do this, then now they're too big. I may have to make some more adjustments with that. All right, let's deploy these. Fix the deploy direction. Centurion, what's going on, man? Yeah, you got your first real snow this morning? Nice. We've had snow in the mountains around here for about a month. But that's up in the mountains. Oh, they gotta divorce these from the brakes. Centurion, KSP is going on as usual. What are you working on in Kerbal today? Everybody just popping in. We decided to forego the jet transport plane for now and just go with a turboprop. I can live with that. I'm gonna double check that real quick. All right. Oh, I forgot to set the ramp height too. All right, now I think we're ready for our first test flight. Yeah, anyway, nose down on the runway. Your wings will end up making downforce instead of lift. It'd be like on the wing of a race car. Airplanes and Mimis landing. Got a question for me. Can't seem to get trim working on my airplanes. SE itself, no reaction wheel, but left alt plus key doesn't trim the aircraft. Any thoughts? All right, so if you're looking at this and you hold down the left alt key, and for example, hold W, do you see the arrows move? Do you see the arrow moving at all on yours? Like you can see here, it just went all the way down, and you can tell because our control surfaces are fully deployed. All right, Jeb, you are cleared for takeoff here for your test flight. One of the tanks is... Alright, we're short. What's empty? Something is empty that should not be. Centurion, yes. And left alt plus X is reset. This thing is gonna boogie with these engines. These are C-130 engines. Oh yeah, wow. Brandon, yeah. Well, have you ever seen a cargo plane without any, like, cargo on board, what it can do? Like, the C-130J can do a complete loop. And can climb straight up. Or, like, have you ever seen, like, the 787 when they're test flying it? Dude, as soon as it comes off the runway, it just goes straight vertical. Let's see what happens when we stall. our flaps, our center mass is kind of far forward for our flat position. But that's all right. They're still working as intended. All right. All right, Jeb. Come around and bring it in for a landing. Let's see how she lands. So, Centurion, what is the verdict? By the way, if anybody's curious what mod is something is, I do have a mod list. It's in Discord under KSP mods. There's a text file in there with all the mods listed. But if there's something specific that you see, like, hey, what is that? Let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. Yep, of course. Okay, so it looks like that can go to 97. We are sitting kind of high, but we have to be able to clear the propellers. Alright, let's recover that. Let's set that ramp, and now it's time for...
decals, stickers.
Works on the ground, but not in the air. That is... I have never seen that. Satoru, are you using atmospheric autopilot? Okay, yeah, if you're using atmospheric autopilot, you don't need trim. It's trimming for you. That's why it's not working. If you turn on atmospheric autopilot, it overrides. Right. So that's one of the points of atmospheric autopilot or like a fly-by-wire system is there's no active trimming involved. The system does it for you. Centurion, that has to do with Kerbal. That has to do with the Unity engine. If you, as long as if you have a waypoint, right, and you set it as a waypoint, and you tell, if you're using atmospheric autopilot, if you tell it to go to that waypoint, it'll correct for that. But if you're just flying on your own, yeah, that's a Unity engine thing. All right, that gets set to 97, and we're going to add that to an action group as well. All right, stickers. Yeah, no, that's a Unity thing, dude. You have no idea how much time I've spent messing with that and cursing it. I added Delta, but I get it squishes it. It squished her face. Delta Airlines. For those that don't know, my dog's name is Delta V. Right, but yeah, Delta Airlines. I added her in as a big flag. Because why not? I edited a few things, including MGB will recognize that. Kraken Airlines. Yep, Kraken Air. Oh, and just because I could, even though it's kind of low resolution, but yeah, the fluffy bunnies. It's weird because this being angled. Yeah, it's still not gonna work. That'll work though. Okay. Always gotta adjust those because I like to, they're not on the right level of texture. Yeah, so there is a, you can't use trim that way with atmospheric autopilot, but you can use it within the parameters of it. Right, if you open up the advanced tab, you can trim so like certain aircraft performance, so it only climbs a certain way, all that stuff. Depending on what you're doing or what you want out of it, you can set some of that. Gotta have it light up the logo. Oh, comms. Gotta be able to communicate. Centurion, thank you so much, man. Thank you, sir. Gotta keep those sub numbers up. If we get to above 100 subscribers and we stay there for 3 months in a row, it changes the payout value from Twitch. It goes from 50-50 to 60-40 in my favor. 60-40 is better than 50-50. So yes, keep up those subs. I appreciate it. Yep, the math definitely checks out. Yes. And that's something they didn't used to do. Like, that was like something you had to be like one of the top, you know, 0.001% streamers on Twitch to get a 60-40 deal or a 70-30 deal. Yeah, that's what, in a couple of lawsuits, they just decided to go fix it. Right, so if you maintain a 100 points, because the points vary depending on what level somebody subscribes at and what base value that subscription is worth from their nation, since they kind of changed it, you know, where poorer countries, you know, a subscription costs less than what it does like in the US, for example. So there's some variation in it. It's not exactly 100 subs and it's 100 points. There's some variation. And then I think at 500, if you exceed 500 for 90 days straight, it goes to 70-30. Right, so at 100 it goes to 60-40. At 500 it goes to 70-30. Second. I looked at mine. You know how much I watch other streams? The way I look at it, all right, if I'm watching another stream, then I should be streaming. So take a wild guess to how many hours do you think I've watched on Twitch of other streamers instead of streaming? The number is quite low. I came close to that in hours watched on my channel. Like, you guys have almost watched me for 10,000 hours this year. Brandon, that is true, yeah. Pancake, you're pretty close. You're pretty close. 37 hours. That's the total time I've watched other streams so far for this year. Is 37 hours. And I said it's like if I'm watching a stream, then I should be then it means I could be streaming. So yeah, not only am I your second, you watch the other person 3 times as much.
Dude! I'm hurt.
No, I'm giving you a hard time, Brett. I'm just giving you a hard time. You know what's funny though is according to Twitch, I'm in the top 10% of streamers in hours watched and average viewers. How crazy is that? Well, you know that if you have an average viewer, we're in another ad break, but anyway, if your average, like if your 30-day average of viewers is above 15, you're in the top 1% of streamers on Twitch. That's how many people stream on Twitch. Now, a lot of people only, you know, sometimes they just stream to a friend or a family member type of thing, so they're not interested in growing an audience. But the vast majority think that all you have to do to get people to watch you is just play the game, and that's almost never the case. Brandon, there's a shit ton of people that stream to themselves or to one other person, like a family member or a friend or something. That's because so many people think that streaming is just, you're just playing a game. And it's not what it is at all. Right? The game that you're streaming is just the campfire. Right? That our potential campfire for people to gather around. Right? You still got to be, you know, the camp master, so to speak, and build a community. You got to be the one telling the ghost stories. Right? You got to bring them to the campfire. but the game, it's whatever it is or whatever topic you're talking about, right? If you're on just chatting, right, that's your campfire. And yeah, dude, Brandon, you have no, yeah, streaming takes way more effort than what most people think. And however many hours that you stream, you're likely doing that many hours of other type of work related to the stream. Either, you know, all the social media stuff that you need to do, which I really am kind of lack on, right? And just all the background stuff, you know, getting everything set up, making sure everything works. You know, it takes me a good 30 minutes every day of getting everything set up before I can even start streaming. Yeah, so it almost becomes, it has to become a lifestyle. And you're sitting stagnant for long periods of time, which is not healthy. Anyway. Okay, I think we are ready. Oh, wait, no, we're not. We gotta do more stickers. We need more stickers. Gotta represent. There. Now I feel better about myself. Pancake, I have one. The problem is when I changed my setup, I didn't take into account well enough the cables movement. I can raise the desk, but I have to, as soon as I press the button to raise the desk, I have to walk around and monitor all the cables to make sure they don't catch on anything. And I'm not really satisfied with this setup anyway. I might change it, but that's like a 2-day process. 1 day to tear it all down, 1 day to put it all back up. But yeah, Pancake, I have one. This converts. That's why the stand-up, sit-down commands exist. All right, I think we're ready to fly it for real. All right, what's our contract? Yeah, TKA flight 1001 KSC to the island airfield. We got to carry 7 passengers. All right, let's do it. Who's flying? Valentina and Gimmel are gonna fly it. Bank, I built mine. I ordered a dual motor kit for the legs, and you want, at least if you're gonna do a standing desk, you want a dual motor. Yeah, because of the amount of weight that's gonna be on it. Alright, and that's the other thing too, you have to kind of calculate how much weight you think is gonna be on it. Alright, Transflight, you are cleared for departure and immediate takeoff. Fly safe. We have our 7 passengers on board. Go for engine start. Yeah, you can order the frame separately, and but you gotta pay, depending on how big you want the desk, you kind of figure out how far wide you want. Because dude, if you buy a pre-built, they're expensive as shit. Right, you can build it yourself for about half. And then I ordered a butcher block countertop, right, in a specific length. And I like my desk is deep, right? So my desk is 30 inches deep. Like, don't forget to account for the weight of that too, right? As well as the monitors, keyboard, everything you're gonna have on top. Because the motor's gotta be strong enough to lift it up. Alright, so we are go for a flight to the island airfield. Let's do it. And we are slightly nose down. Slightly. But we have a 5-degree angle of incidence on the wing, so it overcomes it. How much flight time does this thing have? Well, not as much as I would have thought, considering how much fuel we're carrying, but we're also still at really low altitude. Gotta get that screenshot. Alright, no need to fly too high here. I forgot to change that. Our wings are so big, we need a little bit more authority. Oh, I forgot to do a time warp test, but, well, we're doing it live. Alright, Transflight, we have you in your approach. You are clear for landing. On touchdown, proceed to the indicated airport terminal. Directions have been transmitted to you. Why do I have 2 KSC runways? And 2 island airfields. Oh, bunch of island airfields. That's the one we're looking for, though, that one. Alright, let's go ahead and start our descent. That's a big desert, man. Mine's 5 feet, 60 inches by 30 inches deep. I went back and forth. I was thinking 6 feet, but 6 feet's pretty big. 5 feet is still pretty big, but it's enough space. Everything I need for streaming. All right, flaps down, gear down. The other part too is if going bigger, the butcher block starts to get heavier and heavier, and as you go bigger in size on the butcher block for a single piece, it starts getting much more expensive. more speed. Alright, touchdown. Hit them brakes. Here's the terminal right there. Alright, let these guys get out. Another 20 seconds. Injury? Yeah, it's give aircraft a, it's a gap contracts. Give aircraft a purpose. Alright, translate, you're clear for departure. Please proceed to the runway for immediate takeoff. Why isn't my action group 1 must not be set correctly? Thought I had these set to toggle engine. Apparently I have them just set to shut them down, so... Alright, so now we gotta fly these we exchanged passengers. So now these guys gotta fly back to the island runway, and we have a terminal there. Alright, flaps up. And the screen space reflections and all that, dude, are just awesome. Alright, let's go. Alright, gear coming up. Some of these guys don't look like they like flying. No need to fly too high here. Why aren't these turning on? There's something broken with this IVA mod. That's more. You don't like it? The trip is too short for liquor service. Yes. This is basically a puddle jumper flight, and it also, you have to validate each airport, right? You actually have to fly to each airport to show that you can do it, and then it'll allow you contracts to go to that location, and you can continue to open up more and more. Oh, I overflew a little bit. That's all right. Easy enough to correct. Transflight, we have an approach. You're clear for landing on touchdown. Proceed to the indicated airport terminal. Directions have been transmitted to you. Welcome back. And that's more, it depends. I mean, if you're doing them like 10 in a row, yeah, I can see that. But every now and then, it's a good change of pace. I mean, look how many people watch people, you know, play, do transcontinental or intercontinental flights in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, a big part of it is that, you know, what is there to look at? You know, conversations that are going on. Oh, you know, then why are these not on? There we go. Lights up the logo. Flaps, gear. Starks, this is a very suborbital flight. Centurion, open up Kerbal constructs. And then reset the filter so to show closed sites. And, you know, and whatever one if you're looking for a runway or helipad or water launch or whatever else it is. Right, that's it. I'm assuming you're running Kerbal because that's where all the, or Kerbal Remastered. That's where all the other bases come from. No, but you're asking about the, never mind. You're asking about the launch pads, but launch pads open up the same way. If you're running KSC Extended, And yeah, just select the one you want, and just pay. And you have to pay to open it if you have that turned on. I have to pay to open it. Alright, we are on glide slope. Adjusting our rate of descent here with throttle. Alright, and flare. Alright, let the speed come down. It flops up. Alright, let's go ahead and taxi off the runway here. A little fast. Oh, and Centurion as well with airplanes. I'm sure I've beat this horse to death, but if you want him to behave more like airplanes, make sure you turn the reaction wheel in the cockpits off. I kind of figured I'd beaten that horse to death, but just to be sure. All right, and stop. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Transcarbon Airlines welcomes you to your destination. The fastest seatbelt sign has been turned off and you may now move about the terminal to collect your luggage and make connecting flights. Please use caution when opening overhead compartments and removing items since articles may have shifted during flight. Alright, now all I'm going to do is just recover this and contract complete. And there's other ones. They're not just like transportation ones. They'll end up being some that are like for Coast Guard. Yeah, there, you know, and other ones like K Nations, K United Nations things, right? But you got to build your reputation up first. All right, contract complete. TKA flight is 1001. It's only 15 grand. It's not even pretzels and soda served 7. Air sickness bags used 0. I wonder if we can change that. All we gotta do is give Jeb the keys. All right, all our Kerbals are now pretty much on a day off, or rest and a day off. So let's go ahead and warp to the morning. And I think we have one more, maybe, of those. Yeah, we have one more for 10 passengers. To fly over there. All right, yeah, let's not just knock that out real quick. I mean, it is a short flight. I mean, the longer flights, those are can kind of get bored, but this is a fairly short flight. And we're gonna see if we can't change that air sickness thing. Just see what happens. Because...
Giggity.
Alright, so Jeb and Val both are gonna be the pilots on this one. Oh, a couple things I want to double check. Or change. Turn these on. Action groups, because, yep, it's on shutdown only. Alright, we want toggle engine. There we go. Alright, launch it. Alright, airplane question. Why, whenever you only use rudder, why does the plane roll? Alright, load passengers. Alright, Transflight, you are clear for departure and immediate takeoff. Fly safe. Man, look at that. That looks so good. Hard to believe that's Kerbal. Alright, back to the island runway once more. Oh yeah, but this time we're gonna see if we can't get some doggy sick bags going. Yeah, you think? Alright, so... come on. If we only roll the aircraft, right? Notice our ailerons are actually moving to compensate. I'm gonna turn that off. Alright, so now watch what happens. Why does the aircraft roll? I turned off atmospheric autopilot. Why does the aircraft roll if all we're using is the rudder? Anybody know the answer to that? Centurion, yes indeed. It's because the rudder is above the center of mass. Transflight, we have an approach. You're clear for landing. One touchdown. Proceed to Decatur Airport Terminal. Directions have been transmitted to you. Don't really need them, but yeah, it's because the rudder sits above the center of mass. If it was in line with the center of mass, it would only yaw. That's how World War II pilots used to snap roll the aircraft. Is, you know, if they wanted to snap roll it to the right, you know, they give it full right boot and then also the stick at the same time, and you'll snap the aircraft over. Also very easy to lose control of it if you're not careful. Man, the sky looks so good, dude. Just gonna let our speed continue to fall here. We're still quite fast. Alright, gear coming down, flaps coming down. No, you can even do it in flight mode, or even from the tracking station. Double check your settings. Oh, not quite a good full flare there, but depends on what your Kerbal Construct settings are. Some of them you have to be landed at the airbase in order to be able to open it within a certain range. Let me pull up the terminal here and I'll show you my settings. So it depends on what you have, how you have it set up. Right, so if you have this turned on, open bases only when landed, means you have to land at that base to open it. Right, I turn that off because it's a little silly to me. Right, and then you can set the range of how close you actually have to be able to do it. Right, but all you gotta do is just to open a base. Well, not from... Blip, blip, blip. Oh, map view. I go to map view. Come on. Right, so here I can screen these out. I only want to see closed runways. Right, and then I can click on it and say Open Base Manager. And for example, I can open up Sandy Island for 250 grand. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up Sandy Island for 250 grand. I'll create a waypoint just so I know where it's at. because we're gonna end up using this base anyway. So, but that's why I'm opening it. But it kind of shows you how you do it, and then all you gotta do is just close back out, and now that air base, now I can land and do whatever I want. I'll use this even as a launch site if I want to. All right, transflight, you're clear for departure. Please proceed to the runway for immediate takeoff. Centurion, it depends on, I mean, if you're running the Gap contract pack, this Gap will give you a mission to go there to open it. As long as you meet the parameters for it. Alright, like we had to fly here to validate it. They're called validation contracts, I think. And then the same with that other airbase over there. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get contracts for it right away, because we only have contracts to come here and not to that other airbase that we opened that we had to validate. I don't know, I haven't played with it that much. Okay. Why are you doing this to me? Stop that. Like, there's an airbase over there that we also had to fly to validate to be able to open it. But Centurion, it may only open it though for the Gap contracts. It may not open it for your general use. I don't know. I haven't messed with it enough to know, or to notice a difference yet. All right, Jeb thinks these guys want to get a little bit closer to the water. How hard would you guys laugh if I accidentally put these guys in a drink? Now it's more pretty hard. Lusky here is loving it. Naboli and Mergen is having a full-on panic attack. He's not liking it. Alright, test flight. We have you in approach. You're cleared for landing. On touchdown, proceed to indicated airport terminal. Directions have been transmitted to you. Welcome back. Centurion, yes, that means it's separated. The base is only open for those contracts, not for your general use. unless you pay to open it. Does that make sense? It's open as a passenger contract, but not for your space program. All right, gear down, flaps down. Ones that you can open for zero, you can't launch from. You can land and recover from them, but you can't choose them to launch. But you can land, refuel, and recover, right? There, but you cannot launch, select it as a launch site. I think after this, we're going to do another Mooner landing, probe landing after this flight to get some more science. And some of them are way more than 200 grand, dude. Some of them are like stupid amounts of money. We're really low. Now we're on glide slope. Alright, and we are down and landed. Alright, so we'll take the next taxiway and taxi to the terminal. So smooth, I can't believe it's not butted. What's up, Mr. Jade? Jedi Master Jade of Marvelous Airplane Thingamabobs. Yeah, that was pretty low. Jade of Marvelous Shiny Things. I thought it was 97, but I guess it's 96. Yeah, we'll just go with 95. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Trans-Caribbean Airlines welcomes you to your destination. The fastest seatbelt sign has been turned off, and you may now move to the terminal to collect your luggage and make connecting flights. Please use caution when opening overhead compartments and removing items, since articles may have shifted during flight. All right, are we good to recover? Yep. recover. Not those. I wasn't talking about your nipples, dude. That plane is really worth 175 grand? Is that how much that aircraft cost? Oh, it didn't tell me how many people got sick. All right, contract complete, 20 grand, and and one science. Oh, yep, there we go. That's where it is. It's in the contract completion. All right, pretzels and soda served 10. Air sickness bags used.
1.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to try harder. We're gonna have to see if we can't get it 10 out of 10. All right, that's contract complete, and now we need
Science. More science.
Hey, so how many of you guys tried the free fly for Star Citizen while it was going on? Because I think today's the last day. I think it either ends today or tomorrow morning. I think it's the MLP, right? Yes. It is indeed the MLP. The Lunar Landing Probe. Very original. Alright, but we're gonna see if we can't land in a different biome without bouncing like crazy like last time. The leg got a little weird. And transmit back some more science. So let's...
Send it.
So we've already done this once. We do not have a contract. We're going to be absorbing this cost. See what I did there?
So smooth, you can't believe it's not butter.
Oh, we have a contract, a satellite contract too. I forgot about that. All right, setting moon as our contract. Setting moon as our target. All right, and we're gonna time warp here a little bit. As we're gonna go Mooner Direct. What I'm waiting for here is for moon to be just below the horizon. And good enough. All right, let's get all of our guidance goodies going. Get our rocket noises back up. What's a good angle? There we go. All right, check the cameras. That's a good angle. Slightly better. Guidance is go. MLP is go. Upper stage is go. Core stage is go. Launch vehicle is go. I need a go, no go from chat. Centurion, there's an emote for that if you want it.
Chat is go. We are go for launch in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Main engine start. 2, 1. Send it. We have cleared the tower. We have liftoff.
All right, go for pitch and roll maneuver. Seconds to SRB shut off and separation. All right, throttling back to 50%. All right, we have good booster shutdown and we have good stage separation. Beautiful. And there's Moon. All right, coming up on booster cutoff. And there's Miko. All right, we have good stage separation, upper stage ignition, and fairing deploy. Everybody say hi, Death Star. Doesn't it look like the Death Star in that image? Right there? Alright, so we'll do it like last time. Once our periapsis gets up to about 20 kilometers above the surface of Kerbin, we will shut down and do a release the lander with its auxiliary stage. Stand by for Seco. And shut down. All right, and we have good payload deploy. All right, lander deploying solar panels. We have good solar panel deploy and ignition. Let's go to the moon. Moon or direct? Except not go retro side of the moon this time. Because we won't be able to stop it. We need to stay on the prograde side. Alright, and we have our lunar intercept. Keep us about 2,000 meters above the surface. Sun's right above us. We're getting maximum solar. We say bye, Kerbin. You wanna know how far we actually are from Kerbin? There we go. Reset the field of view. I've asked this before, but how many of you guys have done Moon or Direct? Like that. Where you wait for the moon to be in the right spot and then you just go. And we're going to be landing direct as well. All right, we have entered the moon's sphere of influence. Hey, look, where did we land last time? Alright, so we landed in I think this is East Crater. So we're gonna aim to land right around either in this area or this area here. Because there's our other lander. Speaking of, I should probably rename this one. Alright, MLP 2. Yep, we can even see it right over there, 80 kilometers that way. I think we're gonna land right in here. Not too far from the other one. Reason we're not that far is we came in the exact same way. As long as we're in a different biome, we're good to go. As long as the landing gear don't bounce us, we may be able to also hop to another biome. Alright, starting that burn. We're over biomes currently. It's only 20 kilometers away. Adjust our vertical speed a little bit more. Shut that down and let her rip. Land just past this crater. I guess we're going to be landing in the Midlands. Are that survived? No. Should not have. Alright. 500 meters. $150 meters. All right, 100 meters. Less than 50. And touchdown. Yeah, the landing gear didn't send us like all borky bork. Yes, that's a word. Borky.
Borky Bork.
Not to be confused with
Marky Mark.
It's Borky Bork. Alright. We have safely landed in the Midlands. Alright, we didn't pop a solar panel. We didn't bounce. We didn't do anything crazy. Alright, and Kerbin is right there staring us in the eye. Or we're staring it in the eye. Either way, you know what I mean. Alright, let's get some science. Maki, yeah, that was definitely some funny shit. I don't know about fun. I mean, it was funny, but that was kind of stressful. Trying to land on the moon with SRBs. Wah. All right, magnetometer scan from the moon's midlands. A very faint magnetic field is detected on the moon's surface. Transmit. All right, temperature scan from the moon's midlands. Collected and recorded temperature data from the environment. Transmit. All right, atmosphere pressure scan from moon's midlands. The pressure gauge is sitting there motionless. Perhaps you should tap it a few times to be sure. Transmit.
Mystery goo!
The goo seemed to be less dense here. Transmit. All right, all data from this location has been transmitted. All right, science for new biomes. The moon's midlands, 25 grand. Bonus. So we got paid 25 grand. I think this mission cost us over 100 to do. Why did that survive? That should have
died.
All right, let's take a look at our biome map. Oh, that's the resource scanner, dumbass. Nessa, yeah, we have done some, we've had some interesting ones. Anybody been around long enough to remember when I made a 20-ton rover with a science lab built into it to land on the moon and drive from biome to biome to get science? I wish I still had screenshots of that, but I accidentally deleted them. Man, that multi-visual is still not done. It's only at 91.6. And Jimmy, you remember that? The big-ass lander had a science lab built into it as well? Okay, so this is our current location. We are not far from Highlands. If we go south, if we bounce south, we're right on the edge. South or east, or just southeast, just a little bit. We'll be over the Highlands. And we can get a little more data. A little more science. We'll save it though for now. Let's go see how much science we have. I forgot to action group. I think the engine shut down. And I don't think I can get to it. Oh. Just got to be careful. All right, Space Center. And we accidentally took a leap of faith. We went full yeet. By accident over the rim of a crater. All right, 103 science. That's enough to unlock a 90. I might lean towards advanced construction only because we can't go any further up this way without it. I would like to get the advanced fuel systems. Landing as well, because we don't get better landing gear until up here. Advanced flight controls also what's necessary to unlock both of these branches. Miniaturization also unlocks 2 branches for advanced electrics. And precision engineering. Oh, it gives us an atmospheric spectral variometer. More science is more better. And the surface ablation laser and the little brother surveillance camera. Don't let that little brother thing fool you.
That thing is big.
And some better relays. K4 standard explosives. Interesting. The multispectral sensor scanner. That's more science. Mo science, mo better. Oh, advanced flight control also allows us to open up, you know, as I said, or I already covered this, didn't I? Yeah, the Mark 1 lander can, the Mark 2 command pod, the Lunar Excursion module ascent stage. Centurion, which jet engine are you using? But you because you can't attach, you cannot radially attach a jet engine. Just so you're aware, it has to attach to something else that can radially attach, right? So if it's the Juno, I go with the either the 50 unit fuel tank, right? The size 0 liquid fuel tank, or the structural. The 1.25 meter structural piece, and then if you have tweak scale installed, tweak scale it down to 0.625 meter. And if you're going with a Weasley, then use that one curved piece, the curved air intake unit. Let's go take a look, and I'll show you. All right, so if it's a Weasley, I usually, the engine nacelle part, I attach this part radially attaches. All right. Or if you don't like the curved shape, you can just go with a fuel tank. This is a stock part. The engine nacelle is a stock part. All of these are stock parts, actually. From the structural pylon to the circular intake, the engine nacelle, and then of course the Weasley. They're all four of these parts are stock. Yeah, this won't be under engines. It's under aerodynamics. If you're looking for it in the part catalog, it is under aerodynamics. It's right here. It also holds 150 fuel, and it gives you another 5 units of intake air. All right, and then there's the circular intake. I'm starting to get cold. I'm gonna have to go put on something warmer here shortly. All right, I'm not sure what I want to unlock. Let's take a look at contracts and go from there. Getting cloudy. Oh, I forgot. We have a test the rear guard liquid fuel engine at the launch site. We can knock that out real quick. Let's knock out some of these quick and easy contracts. Real quick. Quick and easy, real quick. All right, this is our engine test stand. All right, which engine is it? LV10-37 rear guard. Oh, that didn't work that way, did it? How do I get more options by typing that in? But it's this one. All right, let's put it on the horizontal test stand. Jade, Imp and I went into a room last night in Star Citizen that would make you, like, your jaw drop. I took a screenshot of it, but it did, the screenshot does not do that room justice. Let's knock out this test real quick and I'll show you. All right.
Test range is hot. Commencing test fire in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And shut down.
All right, contract complete. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, so Jade, we will go into this room there's radiation going off every 30 seconds. It's this rogue research agency has been conducting illegal experiments using alien Vandal technology. Right? And they're still running the experiment and trying to collect data from it. Man, the room was insane. This screenshot does not even come close to doing this room justice. Right, so you have this reactor going off, right? You have these floating panels out here, and it's because it's 0G. When you step off this, it's 0G, right? Because of the experiment. And then there's, you can see, kind of see it here. There's other like broken walkways above you, but they're inverted. And there's bad guys up there shooting at you. They're wearing radiation suits. We didn't have radiation suits yet, right? So we're in a firefight with these guys that are inverted against us in 0G and trying to hide from the radiation. And this room is just massive. This screenshot does not capture the epicness of it. I mean, surprisingly so, but I mean, it is just like, wow. Because this room is massive across. It is like probably 500-600 meters across. Yeah, it was a pretty awesome thing, because neither one of us was expecting what we saw when we entered this room. Like, we were not prepared for it. I mean, it was just, man, it was quite the experience. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna go punch the bladder reset button and put on something warmer because I'm getting cold. We'll figure out what science we're gonna spend, and then go from there. So be right back. All right. I'm back. Thank you for your patience. And now Twitch wants to be a weirdo. Okay. Jade, dude, you should have seen what it took to even get to that room. There's radioactive worms. Think like worms, like Tremors worms. Right, but they're radioactive and they spit radioactive spit at you. There's other bad guys in there that are trying to protect the experiments, the illegal experiments that they're still running in there. And all this is happening at the same time. Like it's quite the experience. Okay, science. Spending science. RPWS gives us more science. Space exploration. Decisiones. Still leaning more and more towards, you know, that'll help us a little bit in the short term. Yeah, I think it needs to be advanced construction. $166,000 to unlock everything, huh? I don't think I want to unlock everything, only because just want to double check, make sure there's no docking ports in here yet. Nope. Okay. All right, we'll pay to unlock it. Done deal. Done deal. Because it allows us to be able to do it when I want next. Is I want to be able to make a Soyuz-esque style rocket. But we need... I shouldn't have exited yet. But we need that tank. Right there. I guess you can also just unlock large structures too, because why not? I mean, we can always get more science. Just all we gotta do is send another lander to the moon. All right, now let's go take a look at what other contracts we have. These temperature surveys, I'm not ready to do yet. I want supersonic flight first. But we're gonna need a massive influx of science for that, and that's where Minmus comes in. We can do a satellite here for Astronomical Survey Society. we can launch a satellite for
Ass.
We can launch the Astronomical Survey Society, or ASS. Yeah, let's launch a contract for it. ASS. Yeah, these contracts are ass. Oh, once again, if you guys missed it earlier, I decided while the Steam Black Friday sale was on, I grabbed Space Engineers 2, since it was on sale, and Space Engineers 2 just got its survival update. Finally. Right? And I've never played Space Engineers 1, so I figured Space Engineers 2 is something to add in the repertoire. And it's another building game. In fact, you know what? We should probably take a look at it just real quick. You see, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about here, let me mute that real quick. By the way, the music we've been listening to is from the Star Citizen launcher. Survival. Gotta build all components. You can build custom ships and vehicles. Maki, a lot of it is. But it's obviously in a new game engine because it looks way better. Apparently has a story, or the beginnings of one. Yeah, they did. Star Citizen Light. Yeah, but this one you actually have to build all your own ships. Oh, and speaking of Star Citizen, apparently the next update that's coming next month, it's already now in the public test universe.
Woo, doggy.
Because it introduces engineering into the game, and ship armor, and and a whole bunch of other stuff. No crafting yet, but crafting is coming next year at some point. Anyway, that is Space Engineers 2. Something else to add into the, the rotation, of things. So, just like a marriage, gotta keep it
spicy.
with a little bit of variety. Okay. What were we doing? Oh, that's right. We gotta launch a satellite for ass. All right, this is the original sat bus. I don't think we need the big one for this. Anything specific on this that needs to be there? Oh, music. There we go. I think it's just got to be in a specific orbit. No specific items need to be on board. All right, except, do we have a sticker for ass? That's not gonna get old. We gotta tag that ass. Oh. Oh, yep, there it is. It's that one. Maki, yeah. By the way, how is KSA doing on their funding? I saw they passed 100K, but I haven't looked to see how they're doing after that. All right, there we go.
We've tagged that ass.
That is just so not gonna get old. Oh. $103.7 grand so far. Oh, speaking of funding, just out of curiosity, because I forgot to look.
God damn! Yes, you're reading that correctly.
$918,877,578 in funding. Yeah, Mr. Krabs like know how to cook like this. Yeah, I know, right? 6.1 million people have now backed Star Citizen. They're going to end up saturating their audience before they even go wide. Anyway, that's a lot of money. It is a whole lot of money. And this is already Star Citizen's biggest year yet financially. They've already surpassed last year and they still have a month to go. It's been that way for like the last 4 years. They surpassed the previous year with still a month to a month and a half to go in the year. Okay, so this is gonna be the ASAT. Not gonna get old. All right, now. Will this have enough fuel to... I don't know if this smaller one will have enough fuel to circularize on its own at that altitude. Yeah, we'll find out, right? Oops, that is not what I meant to do. Damn it, and I did not save. Maybe it auto-saved? Nope. Well, shit. We're gonna have to tag that ass again. Oh. Well, since we have to tag that ass again, maybe we should go with the larger version. The cost difference is minimal. Hit merge this time, doofus. All right, so now one more sticker. We gotta tag that ass one more time. Oh my god. Oh, dude. There. The ass has been tagged. Oh, that is Lazarus. What's going on, my friend? How you doing tonight? All right, 46 grand is what it's going to cost to send this. Alright, so this is a satellite launch contract for the Astronomical Survey Society, or...
Ass.
Oh. Dude, how good does all this look, though, man? Black Rack, you god among men. Almost looks like a toy like that, doesn't it? Look at the rain. Look at the raindrops on the roof. All right, and we're gonna watch it as though we're on the roof.
Guidance is go. Cameras are go. Oh, let me reset my camera. There we go. All right, the ASAT is go. Launch vehicle is go. We need a go, no go from chat. And of course, an ad break. Twitch, you suck. Go, no go. Did everybody go to sleep? It is getting late. Everybody is in lurk mode. There we go. Go, 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 go. Thank you. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Made it and start. 2, 1, send it. And we have liftoff.
All right, we're go for pitch and roll maneuver. Vehicle supersonic. Passing max Q. All right, coming up on 2.5 Gs of acceleration. We're going to go ahead and throttle down to 2/3. 30 seconds until SRB burnout and separation. All right, 2.5 Gs acceleration, throttling down to 50%. 10 seconds to SRB sep. We have good SRB shutdown and separation. Dude, look at that. Is that Duna? Oh, glorious moonshot too. And a whole lot's about to happen here at once. We're gonna hit main engine cutoff and fairing sep. Oh, there goes the fairing. There's Miko. We have good stage separation. Good upper stage ignition. All right, this green line is our target orbit. I went the wrong direction with our inclination change. That's all right. We didn't go very far. We got quite a bit of fuel left in this stage. So we're gonna leave it connected and go ahead and go active on the satellite. All right, ASAT 1. All right, so that'll put it, our parallax is where we want it. We'll have to make one more maneuver for an inclination difference. Let's go ahead and warp to our maneuver. All right, stand by for burn. In 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Burn it. Next to nothing on an inclination change. All right, let's warp over there to that inclination change. I need about 300 meters per second left on this upper stage in order to be able to deorbit it. We don't want to leave it as space junk. Technically, the satellite can do everything from here. It's got enough fuel. All right, let's orientate this thing correctly. By the way, if you want to save yourself a whole lot of RCS fuel, make sure you turn off all guidance when you're doing your RCS maneuvers. That way you only have to start a rotation and then turn it back on to end the rotation. You don't hardly use any RCS fuel. All right, 5 seconds. Zip it. And contract complete. 65 grand. All right, now we just gotta separate the stages here. All right, flip to this upper stage. Flip it retrograde. Sure, moving away from the satellite. We don't want to interrupt it. And burn it. All right, and now that upper stage will fall back into Kerbin and burn up in the atmosphere. How long will it take? Time to periapsis is 3 hours, 20, half a day. Let's follow it. You guys want some booms? You guys want some...
Boom diddy boom boom.
You like boom diddy boom boom. Jade. Oh, wow. This thing is coming right back in at the KSC. All right, we have atmospheric interface. That is that flag right there is the KSC. It's 400 kilometers away. Oh yeah, we're not gonna live that long. Oh, it's already coming apart.
You go boom diddy boom boom.
Dude, Firefly looks so good, dude. Believe it or not, that's one thing with that mod, that Kerbal gets better than Star Citizen. Star Citizen's re-entry effects are kind of...
Meh.
And you're not going fast enough for them to happen, but that's another story. Brandon, have you seen the full effect of Firefly in Kerbal? Like when we do a full, when you get, not to burn up like that one, but the full normal re-entry. Oh, dude, so good. Like, I mean, to give you an idea, this is what Star Citizen's re-entry looks like, right? This is a Star Citizen re-entry. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like in Kerbal with Firefly. Right, you get the bow shock, you get all the particles. Doesn't it? Alright, let's warp to the morning.
The gods are angry.
So good, man. So good. Centurion, yeah, it does. It dries out. It just, as long as it doesn't keep raining. Depends on how long it's like rained. Crash a probe on target at the moon. That would mean we would need to put it into orbit first. Hopefully it's not on the far side. I gotta see where that is. Because if it's on the far side, that's gonna be complicated. Because we'd have to do a comm network first. And yeah, yeah. I hope it does. Well, I mean, it's the same guy working on it, right? I mean, Lynx is doing the terrain. Blackrock is doing the sky, the clouds, the water. All right, Moon Rover Alpha. Is that the location? Oh, location of site is 0Z SHF. It's right there. Oh, it's facing the moon. I mean, facing Kerbin, so we can do that. I'd want to wait until we're on the daylight side, at least. I wonder how close we actually have to get to the target. I'm guessing within 500 meters. Just like the survey contracts. But at least it's facing Kerbin. Brandon, you very excited for KSA? I'm cautiously optimistic. Because it really all depends on that funding. I mean, because realistically, in order to be able to keep it going, it's gonna need to bring in more than 100 grand a month. Right, depending how many people are working on it at once. That's a hell of a storm over there, man. Alright, so what do you guys think about the later streams? Right, obviously I started later today than I wanted to. I was hoping it would have started at least an hour and a half sooner. As I said, according to Twitch, my bet, based on the when most of you guys are able to watch the channel is between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. my time. Right? It's now it's 8:15 in the evening my time. Lazarus, you like it better this way? You posting some files that may help. Now it's more your schedule is flexible.
How flexible is it? And be exact.
Does it do the splits? Dock planet adjustments. What's that? Wait, how did you figure out how to do the default mask? NASMAR, yes indeed. The thing is that I can do the later schedule right now because of the time change. But once it come March, we go to the time change the other direction. It's gonna be very difficult because of Delta. I cannot even put into words how high energy that dog is. Right, and as it gets warmer, I have to go later. I don't know. We might be able to do it though once like late summer happens. We'll see. We'll have to play it by ear. And late streamers look nice. You can watch. All right, we'll keep it going then for a while. All right, so that boys and girls is gonna do it for me today. That's gonna close out episode 15. Once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment. And it's amazing what that does for the algorithm. All right, and no stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get a tutorial done for Kerbal. Basically how to install mods, like how to use CCAN, how to install mods manually. At least get that one done finally. Better late than never tutorial series. And then I will be back on Thursday. But Thursday will be Star Citizen on Thursday. Thanks, Brandon. And then Friday will be the next episode 16 for Kerbal. I wanted to slow down on Kerbal because a lot of people are still trying to catch up watching the VODs for those that can't watch the stream live. All right, but with that, I'm going to call it a night because I'm hungry. I have not eaten since breakfast this morning, so.
I am one hungry Muldoon.
All right, but I want to thank all you guys for coming to hang out with me. Much appreciated. And by the way, and so much, I cannot thank you guys enough for last month. November is the second highest grossing month I've ever had since I started streaming in 2016. So I greatly appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. All right, but yeah, with that, that's gonna do it for me. So you guys have a great morning, great night, great afternoon, great whatever it is, wherever you may be. Oh, by the way, YouTube. All right, anybody needs YouTube, there you go. There it is. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you leave a like and a comment, even if the comment's just hello or you suck or whatever it is. But
Put in something.
all right, I wonder how many comments are just gonna say something. All right, but you boys and girls have a great night, great morning, great afternoon, great whatever it is wherever you be, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you again.